Hey guys, it's Mel. So today I got a very special product for you guys, the one I use. I've got 4 of them in each PC. One is at my niece's house. It's the AMD Radeon, sorry, I was going to say Ryzen there. AMD Radeon 7900 XTX, 24 gigs of RAM by Sapphire Nitro. So I got four of these bad boys in each computer, and one of the computers I gave to my niece. She's got a graphics card, and I've got another 3 over here. 2 in my 9950Xs and 2 in my Ryzen 9950Xs and 1 in my 5950X CPU rig. So just want to give you my thoughts and my opinions on this graphics card and how it holds up today in each PC, and obviously depending on the CPU that you have. So let's get into it. So it's a 7900 XTX. It's a RDNA 3 architecture. It's based on a TSMC 5nm for the die, and then the memory modules around it. It's a 6nm. 96 compute units for this bad boy. 96. I was shocked when I saw that. When AMD did the presentation back, oh God knows, when was it released? It was released in probably 2022, I think. Yeah, 2022 it was released. Yeah. So when they made that video, they talked about the compute units and obviously the AI accelerators and stuff. But we'll get back into the AI accelerators and stuff. So 96 compute units, 96 Ray accelerators as well, 24 gigs of RAM, which is a lot, and they just hit the nail on the head. Basically, they've got the best graphics card in the 7900 XTX series, RDNA 3 architecture, and it's got a cache as well. It's got infinity cache of 96 megabytes of infinity cache, so which is really good. I've done some benchmarks now and there, and with this and how it compares to the 40 series of Nvidia and the 50 series. So I'll get on to that now. So my opinions on how it performs in 2026. So it performs, first of all, it performs really well. And till today, there's no issues that I had with the graphics card. Plays all the latest games there is. I have 2 1440p monitors, and also I've got a 4K TV as well. So I tested the graphics card on that TV. So, but I'll get onto the results. So at that time, this graphics card launched at $1,000. Yeah, £1,000 for this graphics card, but it was worth it, in my opinion. The cons of this graphics card is that it's so bad in ray tracing, right? I'll give you the heads up. It's really bad. Like, you had the RDNA 2 series, and then AMD releasing RDNA 3. Compared to the Nvidia cards, this card is absolutely rubbish in ray tracing. So if you're planning to play games in ray tracing, this is not your friend at all. So you just bear that in mind, okay? So when it comes to ray tracing, this card is a no-no. But when it comes to native performance and keeping everything at stock, then it shines, and we'll get there, and I'll show you the results. So I've got the results over here. In Cyberpunk, you know, you're talking about there's no ray tracing. You get about 180 in 1080p. You get 180 frames a second. Call of Duty Warzone 220 frames a second. Forza Horizon 5, yeah, 220. Hogwarts Legacy 165 frames a second, and Red Dead Redemption 175 frames a second. Okay, so you're averaging around 190 to 220 frames a second in those games. 1440p, no ray tracing. Okay, this is at ultra settings at 1080p, and now I'm going to go to 1440p. 125 frames a second. Starfield 95 frames a second. Forza Horizon 5 170 frames a second. Resident Evil 4, you're talking about 165 frames a second, and Baldur's Gate 180 frames a second. And the average is around 140 to 170 frames a second. 4K Ultra, right? I'm going to give you 3 resolutions, and that's it. Cyberpunk, again, no tracing, no ray tracing, 70 to 80 frames a second. Starfield, 65 frames a second. Forza Horizon 5, 120 frames a second. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, you're talking about 120 frames a second. Hogwarts Legacy, 95 frames a second. And then Assassin's Creed Mirage, 110 frames a second. And the average, 80 to 110 frames a second. Now, the 7900 XTX versus Nvidia GPUs. Okay, so in raster performance, no ray tracing against the RTX 4070 Ti Super, you're talking about 20 to 30% faster, and that's without ray tracing. Okay, so bear that in mind. It is a faster graphics card than a RTX 4070 Ti Super. 4080, similar performance, but you're talking about 5 to 10% raster performance, right? No ray tracing again, because like I mentioned earlier, this graphics card in ray tracing is absolutely shambles. 4080 Super, it's very close, okay? But you're talking about 5 to 10% again, but the RTX 4080 Super wins, okay? So it's just below the RTX 4080 Super, so it's very close. RTX 4090, the 4090 is head of its league, so it's around 20 to 25% faster in just native performance. Okay, so what are the strengths of this graphics card? So I would say it's excellent in 4K gaming performance. Okay, it's got a massive 24 gigs of RAM, so you're talking about when you mod games, you know, you increase your VRAM usage, so it will go up and up. So you're talking about, you know, you get more RAM, more video RAM for the graphics card that you pay. It's a great value card if it's on the used market as well. So I bought them brand new. I paid like a grand each, and I'm happy with my purchase. That's all I'll say. But now you may be asking, what areas you're not happy in? Like I mentioned, ray tracing on this, it's an absolute shambles. I'm telling you, don't even enable it. That's how bad it is. In some games, yeah, but I just don't even touch ray tracing on this graphics card, because it just ruins your experience when you use it. That's all. And one thing I wanted to mention as well is it uses the previous power connectors, so you won't have any issues to, like, for example, that's like one of the biggest advantages as well, where Nvidia cards, they have this 12-volt power connector which tends to melt and stuff. You know, you don't want to be dealing with all those shenanigans. So you know, this has a 3-pin, three 8-pin connector. Easy, just plug them in, no issues at all. So yeah, that's my thoughts and my opinions on this graphics card. It's still one of the fastest GPUs out there in 2026, if you can grab one. 7900 XTX Sapphire Nitro, especially now, it's out of stock. They don't make them anymore. Sapphire does not, yeah, it does not make them anymore. So it's basically end life. But yeah, and also, right, I wanted to talk to you about the graphics performance in the new Nvidia 50 series. So against 5060 Ti, again, it's the 7900 XTX is a better graphics card than the 5060 Ti. So you're talking about 35 to 45% raster performance, which is significant. Yeah, it's the 7900 XTX still shines in those areas. 5070, you're talking about 20 to 30% faster than the 5070. That's without ray tracing. 5070 Ti is, I would say, against the 7900 XTX, it's around 2 to 5% slower than the 7900 XTX. Yeah, just a 2 to 5%. But then sometimes the 5070 Ti does fluctuate between now and then. Against the 5080, like I said, 5080 is 5 to 10% better than the 7900 XTX, and 5090 is just 45 to 50% better than the 7900 XTX. So this is AMD's best graphics card there is, okay? And I just wanted to say as well, against the 9070 XT as well, the new RDNA 4 graphics card by AMD, that's available on the market as well. That is still a good card. Ray tracing, again, AMD is a bit behind, but at the same time, it is a better ray tracing card than the 7900 XTX. But in native, sometimes they are on par, but depends what games that you're playing. But 7900 XTX again is similar performance to this 9070 XT, but like I said, you're talking about 5 to 7% faster in rasterization. Okay, ray tracing again fails completely. I would not buy it. If you're like I said, if you're planning to buy a ray tracing card, then Nvidia is your friend. But if you're planning to play in raster and you really want an AMD graphics card in 2026, then 9070 XT is what I would go for, because these are end of life now. You won't get them. I did not upgrade to the 9070 XT because the performance is similar and I'll be just wasting my money. I know it draws less power, but at the same time, I just don't see it's worth spending on. But because my 7900 XTX still works absolutely fine in my use case. So yeah, that's my thoughts and my opinions on the card. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, please, and give me your opinions. You know, give me, like I said, no matter what graphics card you go for, it does not matter, but just be aware that you should buy your graphics card and you're going to use it properly, and it's your hard-earned money worth, you know, is it really worth spending on a graphics card? You know, if it's worth it, then happy days. If it's not, don't bother. But yeah, no, thank you for watching. This is my review on the 7900 XTX. Still a good graphics card to this day. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but like I said, if you still have one, keep hold of it and it won't let you down. So yeah, thanks for watching. I've got another review coming up soon, so stay tuned. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.